It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games. Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Castle to Wemby, rising deep three. Wee-wee! Victor Wembanyama, 6 feet behind the line, ties the game at 108. Castle between his legs. Castle, Wembanyama puts it in up top over Caruso.
And what did you think when Vic pulled up?
Confidence through the roof. I was stunned a little bit. But once the ball went up, I'm like, oh, that's going in. It's kind of just who he is. I mean, he's one of a kind.
Join Scotty G and the coach, Tim Lacombe, tomorrow from 10 to 2 at the Bar WB pop-up event at the Cal Ranch store at 950 North Main Street in Spanish Fork. Wemby, different dude, 41 points, 24 rebounds, and a big three-pointer in the final minute of the fourth quarter to get it to overtime.
Yeah, how different is he, man? When I was a kid, Jerry Lucas played center for the Knicks, and he was shooting from deep.
There was no three-point line. He wasn't 7'4".
Yeah, but, I mean, power forwards are 6'6". It's all relative.
It is. Jerry Lucas. That's always the comp I've heard for Victor Wembanyama was Jerry Lucas, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Played with Bob Knight at Ohio State.
Old school.
Well, it's the Knicks, man. They may play the Knicks in the finals.
Going
Your
way
Knick
back.
history. You should be aware of it.
I am aware of it. Not sure it's relevant to this show today here in 2026, but thanks for bringing up 1960 Ohio State basketball.
I don't remember him there. I remember him with the Knicks. So.
I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal shot. And, you know, I don't know who was doing the talking there. Talking about confidence.
Dylan Harper.
Okay, well, it's clear that Big Vic has that confidence. And that's cool. That's cool to see. I mean, he's an amazing player, and he's still just a young kid. And he's going to get more amazing, most likely, unless something gets in the way and derails him, which doesn't appear to be. Hopefully that's not the case. And away they go. It just sort of bugs me that after the Spurs were able to retool through the lottery, now we got to change everything because the Jazz tanked a few games. It's ridiculous, man. You created these ways now, these teams that are right now, this is something that should be graduated in, not immediately, because these teams had this plan to do what the Spurs did, and 2 years ago the Pistons only won 14 games. Now these teams that are in the middle of it doesn't. Fortunately for the Jazz, they're at the end of it. But how about these other teams? You're changing rules midstream.
And the rule change the last time you did it made the problem worse. Teams have wanted to tank forever. There was a coin flip put in more than 50 years ago because teams wanted to tank. And that was the system for like 15 years. And then they went to the lottery and involved all 7 teams. And then people didn't like that. And so then they went to a weighted lottery. They keep tinkering with it. And now they're going to tinker with the rules. They're going to let even more team have an angle. Now we could have playoff teams tanking. Well, we'll still be in the playoffs, but we'll increase our odds. What are you doing?
I can't tell you how I felt when I found out that the coin flip came up tails and we didn't get Lou Alcindor, who was becoming cream. I was a Phoenix Suns fan in '69.
And they lost the coin flip of the Bucks.
Right. Yes. And then I had to deal with Neil Walk, who was a decent player unto himself. Yeah. But I cried myself to sleep in 1969 when we didn't get the coin flip.
You were still in New York. You didn't even know you were a Suns fan yet. But thanks for that. You were still thinking about Jerry Lucas, who hadn't won the 1970 NBA title yet.
Oh, man, but I
it's true. They
hard.
Did. Everyone knew Kareem was going to be awesome, and he won an NBA title.
When the Knicks won that title in '70, I got loaded that night.
By loaded, you mean sugar high as whatever you were, 10-year-old or whatever. I don't know. No more sugar-loaded gum before bedtime. You're all wired.
I was in hard training. I won that Gold Glove 7 years later because of the training I was going at 10. But Wemby is an amazing player.
Yeah.
And the Spurs got fortunate that they got the number 1 pick at the year that he was available, and away they go.
We can talk about all the things the Jazz have done right and or wrong in the rebuild, but is the single biggest thing that they went out and won 37 games and started 10-3, and we're worried about having an all-star for the all-star game. You don't. But the team that went out 22-60 got Wemby, and the Jazz later have 2 60-win or 60-loss teams, but there's no Victor Wemby in the lottery.
Let's see.
Cooper Flag could be close. There was for the first 60-loss season. Yeah, maybe one of these guys will do it. Maybe one of these guys will just be awesome. And it won't be the guy that the Wizards take at 1. It'll be the guy the Jazz take at 2.
It could be, yeah. And maybe, with the players around him, too, because it's still a team game.
Yep.
Individuals in basketball get enormous credit.
Yes.
The only thing that relates to it is quarterbacks, and they still need guys, man. You have to have other players do their thing, and they've got to be willing to accept it, whatever their thing might be, whatever thing is a substitute for the word role. And so you don't know about that. And Cooper Flag, he's scoring 40, 50 points as a kid who should have been a freshman in college because he reclassified, and he turned 19 midway through his rookie year. And I heard somebody say, well, would you, if Cooper Flag was drafted coming out this year, say he didn't reclassify and he played his freshman year at Duke, would he be the number 1 pick? Well, I want to say resoundingly yes, but that's in large part because I just had him play an NBA season. So I saw what he can do. These other kids that are coming in, I haven't seen him play an NBA season, so I don't have that evidence, whereas Cooper Flag, I do have that evidence, but they're talking about these kids here, so we'll see what happens. I don't give up hope because you just never know, and the Jazz have an opportunity to get a great player, and away they go. And Wemby has an opportunity to set the league on its rear. On its ear, whatever that expression is, because he's that good. And then therefore, when you're that good, your role players don't need to be as good. They just need to be good. They don't need to be really good because he can cover up for so many things. And then plus two, why was I watching guys who are half a foot shorter than Big Vic trying to guard him? I'm watching the television. I never played the game. I don't know. But I'm thinking, this doesn't make sense to me.
There are multiple reasons they could explain that away.
In a loss.
I know. I think that there's a list of crazy things that happened in that game, and that should go right on the list. And we'll see if they choose to use that strategy going forward. Because clearly they're throwing it, he's just turning around and dunking on people. And now maybe they figure, hey, he'll do that to everybody, so we'll limit these guys over here. We'll put a taller player and a shorter player. I know, but that's what they figured. And I was surprised, in the middle of the game, do you want to mix it up? Here's a cliche we both heard in a million post-game press conferences. You got to give them different looks. Well, they gave him the same look. You gave him a much shorter guy.
They got no look because he looked right over him.
Just come out of a timeout and mix Holmgren in for 2 possessions and see what happens. Or Hardenstein in for 2 possessions. Just see what happens. He's on his way to 41. I mean, is he going to get to 45? Yeah, he'd really go off it. Now, there are other crazy things that happen. Watching that matchup over and over was one of them. How about Castle with what you correctly identified as a triple-double, 17 points, 11 assists, 11 turnovers, and the amount of slipping and falling and off balance, guys, slow down, under control. Now, maybe that's a 21-year-old in a conference final and he's amped up.
11 turnovers is enormous.
Like I said, the list of crazy things that happened in that game is so long. He's not going to average 11 turnovers a game. He also, Castle and Harper were combined 2 of 13 from the three-point line, 1 of 6 and 1 of 7.
They're not a big three-point shooting team.
Keep launching. Well, they took 43 of them on a night. Wemby was on fire.
10 minutes.
But that's true. But he was on fire, posted up a guy who was a foot shorter than him most of the night. Seemed like a crazy time not to throw it in and get yourself 15 or 20 assists. Just keep going to the rim if they're going to put the short guy on you. it was working. He was 14 to 25. Holmgren did come in and help. And that's the other thing. One block shot.
But I don't want him helping. I want him guarding.
I get it. And I get the theory, give it a shot, but when it doesn't work, feel free to rotate away from it.
But Jarris always looked at assists to turnovers, and you should be 2 to 1. Mm-hmm. So that would have been cool if you would have had 22 assists and 11 turnovers.
And Rick, after the game, could have said, well, it's unusual, but I can live with it. But the thing is, their half-court defense was so good, and I think the Thunder will do a much better I think. They should do a much better job with how they attack it. I thought they did later in the game. But the Spurs kept them alive with all the turnovers. And he had 11, the team had 21, and the Thunder just kept getting out and running. I mean, that 57-point second half, and a lot of it was because they were in transition and they didn't have to face the defense that smothered them, especially the first 5 minutes of the game were atrocious, and then I thought they were getting it together, and then the whole second quarter was bad. They only scored 17 points in the second quarter.
I thought the Thunder's defense out front was good in the second half to cause disruption and almost to the point of like chaos because above the line, the ball was loose a number of times. Even if they weren't getting it, it was still out there to be had, and then they're wasting time on the shot clock. So I thought they pressured their perimeter players. I can see why Castle had that many turnovers. But, it's one game.
Oh, yeah, totally. And
Caruso had a big game, but at the same time, SGA didn't. How many times is he going to go 7 of 23, two-time MVP, blah, blah, blah. Wemby, wait a second, man, this guy's MVP? Well, I'll show you because nobody cares who's MVP versus the regular season against the
who's holding the NBA trophy.
Yeah, and if you're NBA Finals MVP, and obviously if the Spurs win it, there's like about a 95% chance that he would get it because he is dominant, and we'll see next round. I'm looking forward to next round. We got through all the preliminaries, and I'm looking forward to watching tonight's game and following it back up tomorrow to see how this series goes, what adjustments OKC makes. But OKC, we may look at them and say, for as far as a potential powerhouse dynasty, they're a fraud. And you can look at if they get beat they didn't get beat soundly when you're going to double overtime, but if they lose like in 5, say, and you say, well, man, they needed 7 games to beat Indiana, and who's Indiana? I mean, they're okay, but are they really? They
barely squeaked out a championship, and then if they only get one,
gets hurt in the last game, blah blah blah. So if they do only get one, maybe all this stuff about, oh my gosh, they're this, they're that. Maybe it just wasn't true. They took advantage of the situation last year, and I'm not saying that it's bogus or it doesn't count. But in terms of we're looking at them as being this potential super team and the league is going to run through OKC for the next 5 years, maybe that's not true. Maybe it's not true at all.
Have we ever had 2 super teams? Because these 2 teams, did they just go a combined, what was it? Did they go a combined 16-2 through the first 2 rounds? I mean, just head and shoulders above the West. Is it going to be a case of
we had the lower portion of the West, but yeah.
We had a stretch. Well, in 2 playoff series, is everybody.
I mean, in the second round, I get where you're going.
Yeah, in the first and second round, they basically annihilated everybody. Minnesota,
right, but in the first round,
Minnesota pushed the Spurs a little bit, but in the end, they lost in 6, and they got really smoked at home. And their star player was congratulating people with 8 minutes left.
Yeah, he's an odd duck.
He is an odd duck.
He's always been that way. He's a phenomenal player.
Right,
but it's not all there in terms of how you're supposed to act. And Minnesota's just going to have to deal with that unless he gets some level of maturity and listens to his – because it's not yahoos like me and you. It's the peers who said, oh, you don't do that. You don't do that with 8 minutes to go. You're disrespecting the game. That's just odd. So they'll have to figure that one out. But even though that series was pushed a little and extended – I never really felt like the Spurs were going to
totally
lose.
Agree. Well, there was a one-off where Wemby throws an elbow and gets kicked out.
Right.
So
that's unusual. You have to – he can't do that, especially being as tall as you are. If you want to stand up for yourself, that's fine. But put your arms down and stand up for yourself. Stand over people. That's what you can do really well. And you don't have to throw a punch where you just kind of get, in his case, face to neck. and just trash talk a little bit. They don't throw you out for that.
Yeah.
and then other guys come in and separate you. You can stand up for yourself that way. You can't throw an elbow right into a man's neck and face. You just can't. Too much damage, and the league won't allow it, nor should it. But I felt like they had control of that series, even when Minnesota was winning a couple of games. Now, we'll find out what level of control they have in this series really quick, because they go up 2-0. Wow. That really puts the pressure on OKC to try to make it a series at that point. And maybe they just were exposed a little bit, and then they took advantage of a weak bracket and got it, and the Spurs weren't ready. Well, now they're ready. And you could argue Spurs are saying, wait a second, man, we didn't even have De'Aaron Fox. We get Fox back. This guy's a veteran in the league, man. He knows how to score and so forth. And so we'll get him back, and that'll take the ball out of Castle's hands a little bit more, because they don't really have a true point in the manner that we used to see. No one really has
dominates the ball,
fulfilled that role.
Yeah.
On that, and so De'Aaron Fox is a valuable member of the team, and so that could take the pressure off. You get another wing player who knows how to handle the ball and can face the pressure that the OKC Thunder can apply. We'll see, and that's what makes the series fun, because there can be twists and turns. And if I am a Thunder fan, I'm anxious for Game 2.
And you use that word, a word you want people to avoid because it doesn't usually fit the situation.
Right.
They're usually eager.
Right.
Excited.
But no,
But now
I would
a little anxious.
I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the Spurs come in and win a second one, and you're down 0-2.
Yeah, that's tough. Any team that's 0-2, but at least
if you're 0-2.
Psychologically, you're going home.
Right.
Even if it doesn't come to pass, at least psychologically, we're going home. It's a tennis match. They held serve and all that crap you always hear.
But it's hard to say that when you got beat.
Right. No. Yeah, you can't. Well, they didn't hold anything. They held two. You got to beat them 4 out of 5, and
3 of them are in their building.
And that's probably not going to happen. The odds on that are very overwhelming, and I would think that would be the case too. And so, from that perspective, I'll root for the Thunder because I want to see a long series. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for, to see a long series, to see how it plays out. And maybe you can argue, the Thunder wrapped it up early and they had to sit a little longer than the Spurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that SGA was a little off. Now he's got an opportunity to go, he's 7 of 23. Well, he could go 17 of 23 tomorrow, I guess it is.
The lock dropped the line about Wemby. He defends half the court. So what I didn't understand is why they were
to the other side.
There, right. And then if he moves, go to the other side, and you're going to wear him down over a course of game. If he has to keep moving side to side, they also did a good job of going into the paint, and he would come over to block a shot, and then kick it back out, and they get a good shot. So more than one pass. There were too many shots where there was just dribble shoot, or the whole possession was dribble one pass shoot early in the game, and it was painful. And they were getting bad shots, and their three-point percentage came up over the course of the game. But early on, they were on their way to one of those where you come in the next morning, why are you 7 for 41? It looked like that's where they were headed early on. And then nobody made a bucket in the first 5 minutes, but most guys were taking bad shots. And so over the course of the game, and especially in the fourth quarter, they came out of a timeout and did a couple things where they really moved the ball and got good shots and hit them. And so maybe they're solving that.
Yeah, and I thought SGA was more aggressive taking it to the basket in crunch time, in regulation, and then in the OTs. Challenge him a little bit. I mean, Wemby not going to block every shot.
Right.
And then if you can put it up on the backboard, he is coming up, coming down. Somebody else can get a cheapie on the weak side because he's out of the play because he challenged the shot. And, I mean, he's so tall, so it's hard to do with him because he sticks up his arms. I mean, there was one play, I can't remember when it was, but I thought, man, this guy's just an animal.
Is that when he drove and hit the side of the backboard and the ball came around? He got 2 offensive rebounds in the same possession.
I know which one you're talking about, and then he got fouled.
Yeah.
He dunked an offensive rebound over Holmgren.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
He's a 7-footer, and this guy just dunks right over him. No foul. No one's calling over the back or anything.
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, was that so impressive that over the back doesn't apply anymore? Because Holmgren absolutely had inside position.
Yeah.
And you're just watching a high game camera, like, did he really just jump over him and not touch him? Maybe the ref had a better angle. I know. So I also think Holmgren, what you said about it, he's not going to block every shot. Holmgren took 7 shots. He was 2 of 4 from 3. That's fine. Pull him away from the hoop, and it worked a few times. But 0 for 3 on the 2-pointers. That old Larry Bird is coaching Indiana. He gets mad at Reggie Miller. I'm 0 for 6. I'm cold. He says, yeah, you ought to be 0 for 12. Keep shooting. Don't stop shooting. And I think the same thing at home. Go to the hoop. See if you get him in foul trouble. He's not going to dunk every shot. When you do dunk, it'll get the crowd into the game. It'll get your teammates fired up. It's worth it. Of course he'll block some shots. He's Victor Wembanyama. He's going to block shots.
He blocked 12 in a playoff game.
Yeah.
The thing that if I'm OKC and you want to play the psychological game, my 2 best players didn't play nearly as well as they're capable of, and we took them to double OT.
Yeah. Right.
So get back in practice, get back in the film room, and away you go today, and then tomorrow's another day.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Everything you missed in this show, plenty of pro football and college football. We will get to all of that. DJ and PK and Joe Ingles back in the news. We'll see you right after the break with that.
Turn it up. Let's go.
It's a new era for sports radio in Utah. This is the all-new KSL Sports Zone. As always, DJ and PK kick off your mornings from 6 to 10. Then introducing the newest addition to the KSL Sports Zone. The coach, Tim Lacombe, joins Scotty G every day from 10 to 2. And as you wrap up your day, Jake Scott and Ben Anderson are there with the best sports talk in Utah from 2 to 6. Live and local, all day, every day. Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is live, on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, it's your ceiling vent, so I'm dripping. Could be the rain, could be the upstairs bathroom. Yikes. You could hire the guy your neighbor recommended, but I'm pretty sure that's just his cousin. Do we know if he's licensed, or does he just own a ladder?
Listen to your home. Go with Thumbtack. Upload a photo or voice note and we'll diagnose your project and match you with the right pro for the job. Thumbtack. We know homes. Hire the right pro today.
DJ and PK. It is time for the Slacker Radio headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit the website at TrajanWealth.com. We just talked about the whole last segment on the Spurs and the Thunder Game 1. It is East Game 1 tonight, Cavs and Knicks, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Find this intriguing as well. After 2 rounds, this has been a month of playoffs. This has been one blowout after another.
I got it.
The Knicks smoking people, the Thunder annihilating, the Spurs just crushing people. So many games. You don't need to watch the second half. It ain't changing. It's 30 points, and it's out of hand.
But I think we're done with that.
Yes, this is like a breath of fresh air. I think both these series should be long, and you're right. If the Spurs win Game 2, then maybe I'm going to be wrong. But it does feel like both these series should be long series. I think they should both go 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I love the East series, and I probably couldn't have picked a better series for me to pay attention to because I'm a Knick fan from way back. I mean, going way back.
And then Cleveland's got Mitchell and Sam Merrill.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got 2 guys who we watched here.
Right.
Yeah. And Donovan Mitchell versus the team we all thought he wanted to play for. Maybe he really did. He just hasn't been able to get there yet.
I can tell you.
I mean, it's a team he grew up with. So really, he's just doing what you're talking about.
He thought he was there.
Yeah.
He thought it was happening.
Yep.
And he was as surprised as anybody. But here we are. This is 4 or 5 years later.
Ironic.
And you know, and I'm also of the opinion, and I know this probably bugs some people, that anything that happens in New York is the biggest. And I get that I'm probably a lone wolf out here on this side of the country. But to me, the country revolves around New York.
That's because the national media is largely based in New York, and they think they're big and tough because they yell all the time. But the truth is, they're just as big a homers as whatever small market you want to pick.
Maybe so.
And that's why it's bigger.
But that's where my ultimate roots are.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was a kid, I didn't know much about the media. Obviously as a kid, you can only know so much. But I just felt like, wow. Even when I went into this city from where I lived, which was only 30 miles, but it was out in the country, so to speak, compared to the city. It's like when you're going in the city, it was something special. It was a big deal. And to have the Knicks there, and I get the celebs will be there and blah, blah. And a lot of those celebs, I will say, and maybe this is my East Coast bias, outside of Jack Nicholson and Diane Cannon, it seems that the celebs that are in the Garden are Knick fans. And
leave Timothée Chalamet alone.
The celebs that are over, and maybe him, I don't know much about him.
He's a huge Knicks fan.
I know he did the Bob Dylan thing, and that was great.
He's from the city.
Okay, so then he is. It seems like the fans, the Laker fans, they're Hollywood people, and they had to go there because that's where the business is.
Maybe
I'm off base.
On a list of reasons that people in San Diego loathe L.A., that right there. Yeah. That right there. You grew up in Iowa, but you made it in the movies, so now you're a Laker fan.
Right.
Stop it. And you're a Cubs fan. Well, that's because in Iowa you grew up a Cubs fan, but you didn't grow up a Bulls fan.
Oh, you're taking a shot at what's-his-face, the guy who looks like Kyle Korver.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. You're taking a shot at him.
I didn't mean to, but if I am, good. Totally. It's just sickening to watch LA sports. And it's why everyone's so pissed the Chargers and Clippers both moved to LA. It's bad enough you moved, but you had to go to LA. You had to.
Well, it was easier and more lucrative.
Well, the lucrative part for sure. And at least Sterling was from L.A., but it was the lucrative part for Spanos. It was like, I'm from Stockton, I'm not going there, so I'll just take the team wherever.
Even as a kid, the times I had to get an opportunity to go to Madison Square Garden, and when you're a kid, your world is really small. I just felt, wow. I couldn't explain how excited I was. And it was just so awesome to go there. And, I went to Shea and Yankee Stadium a lot more because there are more games and tickets aren't as expensive.
Right.
So when I had the opportunity to go to Madison Square Garden, it's like...
That felt more special.
Oh.
Did you ever go to NFL games?
I never went to one.
Yeah. Again, fewer games, more expensive.
No,
yeah.
I never went to one Jet or Giant game ever. The first pro football game I saw was the Arizona Cardinals, and that is, relatively speaking, pro football.
I was going to say semi-pro football.
At Sun Devil Stadium.
Okay, we're getting distracted here, but I do think it's time to bring this up. So I started looking into this, and it doesn't hold 100%, but it largely holds. You always talk about nepotism in politics, nepotism in coaching, but when you hand down an NFL team through the generations, not good results. Now, there are some exceptions. Obviously, the Rooneys on the whole have done a pretty good job in Pittsburgh. But
how about Maras?
Detroit,
with the Giants.
Up and down, the Maras, like the hire Parcells and they have a really good run. They get Eli and they win 2 Super Bowls, but they're missing the playoffs a lot. So that's kind of a mixed bag.
But they got the Super Bowls.
With the Maras.
Gives them a little bit of leeway.
Detroit was down for a long time.
Oh, they were.
Chicago's been down for a long time. Yeah, 2 franchises have been passed down through the family. Now they've got somebody, a different woman is in charge in Detroit. Cincinnati.
Mrs. Ford?
Has been handed down. Yeah, it's a different member of the Ford family, and apparently she's run things a little different. And you can hit, and also this is huge, because if you hit on the right GM, and I saw this with the Chargers, the Spanos is, they largely don't have money by NFL standards, and they don't pay people by NFL standards. And so they give it to a lot of first-time people. And then when the losing gets too much and they have to win, they go out and hire Bobby Beathard, or they hire Marty Schottenheimer, or they hire Jim Harbaugh, and they have a good run. And have a good stretch, and they're in one of those now. But largely in between that, it's a bunch of, if I told you who the GMs and the coaches were, you'd go, who? And it'd be a mess. And it's dysfunctional behind the scenes. Did you see the Eli Manning stuff about why he didn't go to San Diego?
I did.
Because of an awkward dinner, and Schottenheimer and Spanos are fighting?
Yeah.
So Spanos once kept a coach who was 1-15 because he's a nice guy, and fired a guy who's 14-2 because he's a grumpy, grusty old guy, and they were always yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Well, Marty, 30 years deep in the NFL, didn't respect Dean. Nepotism. You get handed down. You didn't. The dad built the fortune. It's easy to see how they got sideways.
Yeah, but then he's got no problem with his kid being a coach.
Absolutely. Totally. That's totally different. He's smart. You're an idiot. And Dean's like, I am not an idiot. You can totally see it. But the Bidwells in Arizona, largely not run well, but it's been handed down through multiple generations, dating back to at least St. Louis and, I don't know, maybe even in Chicago. I don't know when the Bidwells bought in, but it was a long time ago. And so this whole handing it down through the generations, it gets pretty dicey. And I think it largely doesn't work.
If they stay out of the way.
Yeah, if they stay out of the way, how much are they really educated in the business? And even now, the Steelers seem to be making choices to keep them stuck in the middle. Bringing Aaron Rodgers in for 1 year and then for 2. It's like at some point, just play a young guy, bite the bullet. If it doesn't work, draft high and get somebody and go.
The pressure is to win.
Okay, well, other people draft high and rebuild. And, the pressure to win in New England is on, and they won for a long time, and they didn't for a while, and now they look good again. They're in the Super Bowl.
I know, but I agree. But the pressure is still to win.
Right.
And then Pittsburgh didn't want to accept any form of that.
Yeah.
Because that's who they were, and they haven't been able to draft and develop a quarterback. Which you can usually point to teams that's their case.
And I think we should put the Titans on that list. Weren't they? Didn't Bud Adams hand that down? I think his daughter's running it. I'll have to check
Julie
on the
Adams?
Titans. Julie Adams. Amy. Famous Adams. Anyway, I just thought of that the other day. I was piece about teams that are handed down. I saw something that got me thinking, so I started to think about all NFL teams. I'm like, I'm going to tell PK, nepotism in NFL owners. I don't know if we see baseball handed down as much as the Dodgers were, and it was actually done very well, right? Walter O'Malley to Peter O'Malley. That was fantastic. Peter O'Malley had a great run running the show.
True. Fantastic.
So it's just like nepotism. It doesn't always, Kyle Whittingham got into it. His dad, it certainly helped his career, but the guy stood on his own 2 feet and just won big. And
well, look at Freddie Whittingham. He's flourished.
See?
Look at all the tight ends he's put in the NFL.
It's nonstop, one after another.
There's 3 Whittinghams on the coaching staff at Michigan.
Right, because he brought his son in. Yeah. The college football news, we had on Chris Anderson, owner and publisher of Ear Sports, covering the West Virginia Mountaineers, and paints the picture of an offense could be pretty good, but serious questions about the defense, and they need to get bowl eligible, and the November schedule is tough, so start 5-3 or 6-2, because if you're 4-4, that 4-win season last year. And they got 2 gimmies out of the gate. They've scheduled 2 wins. As he pointed out, they lost to the University of Ohio last year, so anything can happen. But they should start 2-0. They're only playing one Power 5 team. That's Virginia, Game 3, a neutral site game down in Charlotte, where they are getting paid a lot of money to play in front of their alumni, apparently.
It's going to be, we're going to go in this conference in the 3rd year of its configuration, and we've had surprise teams each year, so I don't know that I can look at schedules. I can now, but I don't know how true it's going to be when we get there.
Agreed.
Like, this is a soft spot. Oh, you didn't get to play this team.
Oh, yeah, you got Arizona then? Whoops. Oh, Arizona's good, right? Arizona and Houston last year made major progress. They had good seasons.
But how do I know they're going to do it again?
You don't. You don't.
Couple injuries.
Colorado, year 1 under Dion was bad. Year 2 was good. Year 3 was bad. What is year 4? Now, year 3, for a couple reasons, was fairly predictable.
Yeah, so
right.
We'll
and like Oklahoma State was terrible, but new coach bringing in players from a G5 school. It's worked in other places.
Well, on paper, if you're looking at a surprise team, they're going to be it.
I wonder what else. If Baylor's good, is that a surprise?
What level of good?
Always
9-10.
An excellent question. 9 or 10 would be a surprise.
Yeah, that's.
But if they're 8-4, that's mild.
And they always seem to be halfway
kind of
good.
Sort of close, yeah. Whereas Oklahoma State bottomed out.
Right.
In a horrific and spectacular fashion.
Baylor right now reminds me of the Sun Devils in the second portion of their Pac-10/12.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Okay, but not really good, but any given week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That conversation's out there with Chris Anderson covering the West Virginia Mountaineers. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. Lincoln Riley says he believes it's time for him and the Trojans to make a college football playoff run, to which USC fans answer, you think? He's 35-18, started 11-1 with that crazy loss, 43-42 to the Utes here, and they were 11-1, and they went and lost to Utah in the Pac-12.
Best game I ever saw at Rice Eccles.
Yeah. Went and lost to Utes in the Pac-12, then went to the Cotton Bowl and got beat by Tulane. And then it's pretty much been a mess ever since. So although he is 35-18, he's 24-17 in the last 41 games, and that's
mediocre.
So mediocre.
Best win I ever saw at Rice Eccles, because I know there are going to be a bunch of BYU fans back to Harleen, but they didn't win that game.
Right.
That was an awesome game too. Obviously, that was in.
All right, now you got two. Your Mount Rushmore of Rice Eccles football games.
Phenomenal ending.
Three more. You got
both phenomenal endings.
You got two more BYU Utah games to round out the Mount Rushmore.
The difference being the BYU or the Utah USC game. I'm on the sidelines, and you know what's going to happen. They're going to score. They're going to go for two, and they're going to get it. And this is exactly what it didn't make it any less exciting.
How much time were they going to leave for Caleb? They left like 30 seconds, I think.
Right.
But was he going to have enough time to get down the field? No, when they got it down to 30, but where they're going, I'm like, because they could just throw a short pass to somebody, breaks a tackle, and you score, and there's 3 minutes left, and now USC maybe goes down and wins the game.
But time and score, you could.
No, they got the score down.
Lack of defense.
Right.
That SC had.
Do you remember in the Pac-12 title game, somebody ran a crossing route? I can't remember which receiver it was. And, it was Keystone Cops. 4 USC players take a bad angle and bang into each other, and it goes 60 or 70 yards for a touchdown, whatever it was. Yeah. If they'd done that with 3 minutes left, it might have been a different story.
But that
game was 45-43 or something. It was stellar. Incredible. How about
I'm so excited.
There's so many good Utah BYU games in that stadium. How about the Utah Oregon game with Covey in the punt right before halftime, though? I mean, I think that was the kind of game.
Electric.
Yeah, that's the kind of game where, let's go check the seismograph.
In suspension.
It was not. It was different. That was a blowout.
Right.
Absolute blowout.
And anytime Oregon gets blown out, I'm all for it.
Yeah. The Angels took a no-hitter into the ninth inning and then gave up a single and a homer and lost 2-1. How about
baseball,
that?
That's the beauty of baseball.
Excuse me. The Athletics were no-hitting the Angels. The Angels got the hit and single. Yeah, my pronouns didn't really make that clear.
And I told you my pronouns are he and hurricane.
I did hear that. Yeah, you said that yesterday. Yeah. I dropped a random they in there.
Because I love being at Copper Rock in Hurricane. I had a real fun time at the ESPN tournament. Look forward to going again next year. That's the beauty of baseball. You get 27, I get 27.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Urban Meyer lost his grievance. He wanted $30 million left on the contract in Jacksonville. He doesn't get it.
Yeah, but look what he gained.
See? A lot of embarrassment, some humiliation, some shame.
Embarrassment. Shame. What are you talking about?
Urban has no shame.
How about you cut that for a drop? You don't cut enough of your own stuff for a drop.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I admit, that was a good one.
Next time that Fox pregame comes through Utah or BYU and I announce it, you can just go, Urban has no shame. You just play your own drop.
Did he really lose on that? I think you can consider him a winner, if you know what I'm saying.
I think you're just messing around because I think you were horrified when you read it. I think you went, Urban, what are you doing? Dude.
Oh, my gosh.
You're in a bar and everybody's got a phone. Let's take
how many men has that taken down?
Yeah. All right, when we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Question of the morning. Trade rumors have the Bucks and Pistons interested in Lowry market and anything worth considering. Doug says, Lowry's been the good soldier for the past 4 years. We're trying to win. We need to slow play the rookie we draft and reevaluate the roster after a year. Can't trade him now. Also, dude's too unique. We'd never get back the same value.
Yeah, what a great soldier getting $40 million a year. Boy, man, I tell you.
I think I can speak for you. I know that I would sit on the bench for $40 million a year. Hand me the $40 million. I'll be down there at the end of the bench.
Now is his time.
Yeah?
I believe outside of DeAndre Ayton, everybody in the NBA wants to win.
Outside of DeAndre Ayton.
Yes.
DeAndre Ayton is willing to win
as long as
if it's not too big an ask. Yeah.
And I believe that Markkanen wants to experience winning. I believe he wants to go to the playoff, and he wants to do all those things that come with it. And now, starting in 2026, 27 season, this is going to be his time to shine. I'm not saying he's the man and he's going to carry the Jazz, but he's going to play on a winning team, and he's going to have a lot of fun, and he's going to play, and he's going to play well, and he's going to play often.
Classless Skip, we're 3+ years into fake Lowry market and trade rumors, LOL. Get those clicks, NBA writers. Big click hunting.
Well, that's because he is a very skilled player, and you're looking at teams that want to unload and rebuild and all that, like they did with Jaren Jackson. I think the Jazz are past that. I would be surprised if Markkanen's not in the starting lineup in Game 1.
Donovan Mitchell-Stan says it's hard to imagine the Jazz trade him now after all they put the big fin through. Still, without a freak to battle the freak in San Antonio, you don't have a chance.
Oh, let's see.
Draft lottery follow at playoff bogey. We'd have to completely restructure our team to fit around Giannis. It feels like a bad idea. I agree with you, draft lottery follow.
Yeah, but if I was Markkanen, I'd be depressed if I got traded to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I go through a rebuild to go through a rebuild?
Yeah, I agree. I can see that'd be a huge negative.
I want to stay here because I believe in this management
and I want to go to the playoffs.
believe in my teammates.
I want to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
It sucks to be the guy who's played the most NBA games without ever playing in a playoff game. Get that off your resume.
And very little of that is his fault.
Certainly the last 4 years are not his fault at all.
No.
And then you get the other 5, and Chicago was jacked up when he was there, and he was a rookie, so it's not like he was supposed to carry them.
I'd be working out harder this summer in anticipation of having this opportunity to play in front of a packed house where the complete emphasis is to win the game, man. This is going to be like it was in college. It's going to be like it is for his national team, and it's going to be at the highest level.
To summarize a lot of these, nobody wants the Jazz to trade for Giannis. They feel like the price is too high. He's too old. There have been too many injuries. He's too close to the end of a contract or opt-out year. They don't like it. There's no real enthusiasm in these comments for Giannis. People are no. And especially because the future is Ace Bailey and whoever they're about to draft. So when they do make moves, the older guys have to go for guys who are more along the timelines. To put a bunch of assets in for a guy who's already over 30 just doesn't make sense.
Well, I would do that if I didn't have to give up those assets.
Yes, but you will. You're right. If you didn't have to, but you will.
But I understand it would happen. But, I mean, if you get a player that it was a short window, but the type of influence that Joe Johnson had, I'm all over that.
It was a short window, but he had a very positive influence.
Yes.
It was a great get. You full well knew his age when you brought him in. I mean, the only thing you hold him responsible for, you can't hold him responsible for. Everything else, the way he played on the court, the way he talked to the younger guys, the way he spoke to the media and represented the organization and coached younger guys up through the media, things he said.
Yeah, I can recall
that was a good one.
First gathering after Hayward didn't come back. And they're asking him. He said, well, he did what he did, but I'm here to talk about the Jazz.
Set a tone, man.
Yeah.
That's what veteran players are supposed to do.
Right.
Young guys might be freaked out. Be the composed veteran. All right, DJ and PK, we're all done. Scotty G and the coach, Tim Lacombe, are next. Stay with us right here on The Zone.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.